Hello, hello, hello. It's Dr. Yulee. The doctor is in. How are you all doing today? It's a Sunday, and it's a sunny Sunday here in Boston. I want to start off by saying I'm sorry. I apologize because it has taken me a lot longer than I anticipated to do the next video. I know in my last video I said I would not be so sporadic. I would not take such great lengths of time to post, but a lot has been going on with me personally. A lot has been going on out in the world. So, life does happen, but I hadn't forgot. I've been keeping everything right back here in the back of my head, right back here. So that I wouldn't forget. I hadn't forgot about y'all. And, this video is a video I've been wanting to make for a while now, a long time. I've had a lot going on in my life, as I said in my last video, over the past year or so, year and a half or so, which is why I kind of took a big hiatus in the first place from doing videos. And I've come kind of full circle with things. I've done a big walkabout, a big turnabout with my life, and I want to share some of that with y'all if I can. I don't usually like to talk all about myself in things like this, but I'm gonna be a little selfish if you don't mind. So, to kick things right off, let's go back in time. Say about a year or so ago, I was a student. I was working as a musician predominantly, and those two things have sort of changed. Those are probably the biggest changes that have undergone, I have undergone in my life in the past couple years, or the past year and a half. And it's because I have been on this more recent quest for my own personal happiness. I've been trying to find a way to really be happy, because that's all I really want out of life. I think that's really all any of us look for in life, is to just be content. And I was realizing in the moment, and had a big sort of breaking point with things, that the way my life was going, the way I was living, the direction things were going for me, personally and professionally, were not necessarily lining up with realizing that vision of happiness. Let's first address me, the student, or the former student now. I, for a number of years, was a doctoral student at a university here in the city of Boston. And my initial reasons for getting into that program was, number one, it was a perfect time in my life to pursue it. I felt like I had everything I needed to go forward. I felt like it would give me a good sort of finishing as a singer, give me that final little once over, that little polish before I really went out in the world and tried to make a name for myself as a performer in the big time, in the big stage. And plus, I've always just wanted to have that degree, that final terminal degree in whatever field I chose to be in. And I chose to be in music. It sort of chose me, and I chose it. And, I have a master's, I have a bachelor's, I have a lot of credential. I built up some wonderful connections here. And I felt like that would be sort of the icing on the cake. That's the cherry, and the cherry on top, because it's a lot of work. So I went into that program not entirely sure of the outcome and how to go about it. But I was saying to myself, well, I'm here. Let me take this opportunity. I was younger, still young. I was younger, and I felt like I could do it. I could really knock it out, But then things began to pick up for me on a professional level. I began to get a lot of opportunities as a singer, to go here and there and just perform around town, and that schedule began to really eat up my time as a student. I didn't have time to really think about writing a paper or studying or things of that nature because I had to go to the rehearsal hall. I was moving my way up at a very rapid pace at some point. I was singing with some very big and reputable organizations here in the city of Boston, and I felt like it was finally getting my name out and about. The way that we all think of as entertainers, we all feel like this is that it moment. This is it. It's happening. And so I began the teeter-totter of time, between student and performer, began to lean a lot more towards performer. And so school became more and more of a secondary thing for me. That damn dog, don't stop. Anyway, school became more of a secondary thing for me. And not by choice. It was just a matter of circumstance. But then, as time went on with me as a performer, a lot of doors that I felt were open to me began to be shut. Just as they were open to let a little light in, they were shut right back and padlocked shut. And it sort of sent me for a whirlwind. I was very unprepared for the way things turned, but that's just the world of entertainment for you. It's a very unpredictable business. And in my side of the business as a classical performer, it's really about who you know more so than, I don't want to say that, but in a way it's true. It's really about who you know more so than how much talent you actually possess. And the people that I knew that saw something in me and wanted to help foster that talent were no longer in the position to help do that. They were not in that position any longer. And so when they left, so did my career in a sense. It began to disappear. And in the meantime, as a student with loans and debt and trying to pay rent and eat and have a little piece of life every now and then, someone has to find a way to make a living. And so I was taking any job I could take as a performer. And it was much to the disgruntlement, I think, of some of the administrators and advisors at my university that maybe felt that me working as a performer was too much of an interference in my life as a student. But my whole argument behind that was that I needed something to sustain myself. I didn't really have any assistance from my university to do that. I have to pay my rent. I have to live in some way. And what was paying the bills for me was my performance. So, of course, I'm going to take those opportunities if it means me paying my bills on time and me keeping a roof over my head and me being able to put food in my mouth. Of course, I'm going to take those opportunities. Any rational person, I would hope, would do the same thing. So, fast forwarding again, my career as a performer began to sort of stalemate a bit. It's not that it completely disappeared, but the scale and the scope of what I was doing was not at all going to allow me to sustain the life that I was living. And not that I live a grandiose life, mind you, but it was not able to really support me in the way that I needed to support myself. So I said to myself, well, it's time to get another job. I have to find another way to subsidize myself. I got to get a day job. So I turned to retail. I turned to the retail business, which was, not necessarily the most glamorous line of work. It's not the most easy line of work, but it's work. And it's an honest job. And it was the one opportunity that came my way that gave me a shot. So I took it and ran. And it's been a blessing in disguise, I feel, because when I felt all other doors were shut, this door was open to me. It saved me at one of my lowest points. Oh, Miss Brandy is calling. Hold 1 second. Hello? Hello? I said hello. Listen, can I call you right back? I'm making a video. Bye. Pardon me, I won't be editing that out, so just part of life. Anyway, it was the one opportunity that came my way, like I said, that could help me. So I took it. And again, school became something that was not at the forefront of what I could do, of what I was doing. So I had to say to myself, again, am I going to work or am I going to be a student? Am I going to live and survive, or am I just going to be a student? So, push came to shove, and I decided that my program wasn't working for me. I had reached a plateau with it and said, adios. It just wasn't going to give me what I wanted, and I realized that in the long run it wasn't what I wanted. Not really, you know. It was a wonderful idea, and I really believed in it, but I felt like I lost steam with it once others involved, you know, others that I felt were to guide me sort of lost their faith in me, or that I felt like I was a laughing stock or some point of ridicule amongst those that I felt were supposed to be in my corner. And so I left. I said, I've had enough. I'm done with digging myself up in debt. I'm done with constantly dancing around this issue of, can I do this and work and sing and live? And so I said goodbye. And I embraced my career in the fashion industry, retail, full time, which is what I do. And all of that to say, I know it's a very long-winded story and probably very boring, but all of that to say that I had to make a decision to live my life the way I felt like I needed to live it at this point in my life. I couldn't live for an ideal. I couldn't live for what plans others had made for me or what dreams they had made for me. I couldn't even really live by any sort of idea of a dream. I had to live in the moment and realize that this is what my life is right now, regardless of the promise of my youth, the promise of anything. You have to seize the opportunities as they come. And, you know, in order to be content, it doesn't always happen the way you imagine it to happen. I did a lot of soul searching. You know, I felt really bad. I was very hard on myself because I'm like, I'm not a quitter. I don't quit things. I don't walk out on things. I see it through. I persevere. But me stepping away when I did was probably the most winner thing that I felt I did. You know, I felt like I took ownership of my life instead of just letting it constantly be in rotation or in some sort of a holding pattern. That's what I was looking for, and that's what I felt like I had been in. I couldn't get out of this rut. You know, I wasn't really happy performing, even though I loved the opportunities. It wasn't as gratifying as I would have hoped it would have been for me. And you know, there's no disrespect to the wonderful organizations I've worked with over the years. You all have been so wonderful to me to give me these opportunities over and over again that you could have easily given to someone else. But I knew that deep down I just wasn't really happy doing it, even though I could do it well. And that's the other thing. It's like I felt like I shouldn't just do something because I do it well. I have to do it because I really like it. And so, you know, with all of this transition in my life, I decided to pull out of music a little bit. I'm going to take a break from music, the way that I've been doing it at least, because it's just not been giving me the satisfaction that I really would love to have as a musician, as a singer. There are so many things I feel like I want to do and try and experiment with that I never have had the opportunity or allowed myself the opportunity to do because of so many voices in my head and from outside that tell you, well, this is what you're going to do, and you're this, and you're that, and you need to do this, and da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? It's like everyone is telling you what you're going to do from the beginning, from the outset, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I had to take the reins back in my own hands and say, this isn't working for me. I'm sorry, but no thank you. So, I mean, I don't know, all of this is just to say, like I said, to be happy is not always how one can, you can't just write down a pathway to happiness, but you can certainly deal with it as it comes. It will manifest itself along the way. And I'm not there yet, but I'm almost there. I'm getting there. Just making those decisions, making decisions about your life can transform your life and the mood of your life in so many ways. Just actually making real decisions and holding to them. So that's kind of what has been for me. You know, I think about a song by Brandy, my favorite singer, my muse, my number one, whatever. She has a song from her last album called Camouflage, and the lyrics are like, you know, these flaws I've got, no matter who I am, take me or not, you know, I'm so done trying to be everything you want. I had to stop because it's not worth it if I have to camouflage. That's what she says. You know, she's like, it's not worth it if I have to cover up everything about who I am just to please you or to please someone's expectations of you. And I guess that's the moral of all of what I just said for the past 20 minutes. You can't dumb yourself down just for the sake of appeasing other people's ideals of you. You will probably have to break a few hearts. You might have to piss a few people off. You might have to shut a few doors of your own, and you might have to just say no. But if it takes that to make you feel like you're finally in control of things and you're doing things your way and what you really want to do, then that's what you need to do, regardless of the outcome, regardless of how other people may take what you have going on, you know. And hopefully they will see it through your eyes. They will see what you have going on and respect that. You know what I'm saying? So, that was very cathartic for me. I don't usually unleash like that. I've made a video now for like 18 minutes. I never do that. I hope I've kept someone's attention in this. And I hope it makes sense. I'm just kind of gushing right now because it's like therapy for me to do this. And it's been kind of pent up. And this is not even really like, it's not the in-depth true Hollywood story version of everything, but I felt the most concise way of me just telling y'all what's been up with me. I've made a lot of decisions to try to get to that one place called happiness, professionally and personally. And when you feel like you're stuck in a rut and you know what's keeping you there, make those decisions that you need to make to climb up on out of that hole, to get up over that hump. And I think I'll leave you with that. So until the next time, I'm Dr. Yuli, and I will be talking to you very soon. Happy Sunday, y'all.